So from the same yard sale, I was able to purchase a second figure. So for the price of $20, I have two action figures, $10 each. So this figure is going to be the Iron Man 2 Arctic Crusader. So this action figure belonged to a concept series. It's a 3-figure set which included the Star Flare armor and the Sandstorm armor. But I did not care about those two other armors which were sold by Toys R Us. I only cared for this action figure. I'm just glad to have it as a separate piece without that gimmick of a big drill that is snap-on piece on the forearm. This figure stands just barely above the 6-inch mark. So let's do a 360 view of the action figure. As for Iron Man action figures, with the concept armor, we have two other action figures which belong to the first Iron Man movie. Well, they're not the latest and the greatest, especially in the articulation department and the anatomy department, but it's just fun to have something related to the first movie in your collection. So this is a concept armor, the only concept armor that I want out of the three which I already mentioned. So concept armors were just a way to pad the merchandise for the Iron Man 2 movie. As for mainstream armors that were featured in the Iron Man 2 movie, so we have the suitcase armor and the war machine. So this is how the Arctic Crusader fares with these other two action figures. And we're going to compare this armor now with two other action figures which are relatively new. So as you could see, the difference is going to be with regards to the height of the action figure, because the older action figure would just be a little above the 6-inch mark, but the newer ones would be around the 6.5. But with regards to detail, the older stuff is as detailed as the newer ones. So really depends on the armor that you have in mind, which you want to add in your collection. So it really does not mean that it's all that it is already obsolete. So let's take a look at the articulation points of this action figure. Okay, so let's start with the head unit or the head sculpt. So this is the details of the helmet. Typical Iron Man helmet, just a different color in silver and in blue. Okay, so left and right movement, a little bit of head tilts, and that is it. Okay, so for articulation point on the body, nice details on the body actually. The armor is really thick on the chest and thick on the arms and the forearms, so which we really expect thickness or for a battle armor. Okay, so once again, articulation point is going to be centered on the diaphragm point. So rotation, forward bends, backward bends, well, not as great as you wish it could be, but we have those articulation points, decent enough already. As for the shoulder armor, they're going to move out forward, up, not forward but upward, I mean, for articulation point of the arm. So we have freedom to articulate that arm, but not full 360, just like this guy. Okay, so sideways movement or T poses possible. We have a cut on the bicep for rotation of the bicep, 2 points of articulation or bend on the elbow. We have rotation on the wrist, and we have a hinge. So forward or downward tilts on the hands is okay, but let's take a look at the apartments. Not much. Okay, as for the fist, well, rotation, and we also have a hinge. And as for the legs, now this is still kind of the old design, not just well as this one. So forward, a little bit of sideward, depends on how you're going to rotate that ball point. And we're going to have a little bit of hindrance on the articulation point because of the skirt piece or the battle armor piece that protects the butt and the side of the action figure. Okay, so just have to rotate that ball, and 2 points of articulation are bend for the knee. We have sideways movement and a hinge. We don't have any rocker point for the foot. So decent enough articulation for a old action figure, but with regards to details on the build and with regards to construction, it is really a nicely constructed action figure. The plastic is okay, especially on the knee areas and the elbow areas, and compared to the other action figures, well, of course this has more plastic to it, so it's quite weighty. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel, and see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.